let's get into it, shall we?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so they use the word postponed. Everything that I'm hearing is Amanda's not going to fight at 324, and there's even a graphic out with the new lineup, and she's not on there. There's no TBD, and they could certainly add her, but
yeah,
it sounds to me like the hope is she won't fight, they will fight, and the penciling in, the hope is that it will be on that card. I think that's the new hope, right? And the timeline would work given what we've heard, given what we've learned over the last 24 or so hours. And it sucks that it happened. It's scary. Kayla Harrison ain't going down like this. This is not the end of Kayla Harrison. I've seen some people say like, oh, this is maybe, a buildup of all the weight cuts. And certainly it's a buildup of her incredible athletic career. You forget she had a whole other career prior to this career, and then the run in PFL, and now the run in the UFC at 135. But she's not going out like this. And I thought from the beginning, the perfect fight was her versus Amanda at the White House, right? She has to be on this card. Two-time Olympic gold medalist, all that stuff and more. And that's the biggest fight for her. Obviously, if she would have won, her versus anyone would be great. If she would have lost, I still felt like she should have been on the card. But now it's one of those things where it's like, man, maybe it's not the worst thing in the world. You want to have the biggest guns, the biggest fights. And, I know that they're not going to make it USA versus the world, but a two-time Olympic gold medalist certainly deserves to be fighting on the White House, front lawn. So I feel like that's the new plan. No one will fight in between. Let's see what happens between now and then. It's still, exactly, 5 months yesterday. So the clock is ticking away. It's getting closer, no doubt. But I feel like that's the new plan now. And, we saw the video that she posted today. Heartbreaking to see. Actually sent it to my mom, who was enamored with her from our live show in Miami, and she was so sad for her. It's really hard to see. She's just such a good person, and no one deserves that. And I thought she was very classy in her response, first apologizing to Amanda. And we haven't heard anything from Amanda. I haven't seen anything from Amanda. But I thought it was really, really cool of her to put it out there, get in front of it, and apologize and say that she will be back. Speaking of Amanda, by the way, what about Amanda Serrano throwing her name into the hat? That's a wild, wild thing that I did not see coming. And obviously, it's probably not going to happen. We all know that. Here's the tweet. If UFC and Amanda Nunes are thinking of a replacement, I would love to challenge. As I'm still in fight shape, hope the champ recovers well. Of course, she just fought, I think it was on January 3rd, and won that fight. Obviously, probably not going to happen. But when speaking to people close to her, the sentiment was like, we're not doing this for PR. It's genuine. Again, I know it's probably not going to happen. They're not going to sign her to do it, MVP, all that stuff. But I thought it was a pretty nice move. Classic chill son in school, right? Maybe get some brownie points for raising your hand, and kind of shows the kind of gamer that she is. So, again, don't think it's going to happen. I think the current hope and plan would be to pencil in this fight for the White House, and that's probably, Dana said it himself, greatest female fight of all time. Feels like a perfect place for a card like that.
Okay, so you mentioned penciling it in for the White House. Obviously, these are just estimates, and coming from the Eagle Tribune, like we can't be fully certain. This isn't from her doctor, but she had the surgery 2 days ago on the 13th, which is 5 months from the White House. And what they were saying in the article is that she's going to need at least 6 months of rehab to get back. Do we worry that she will not be back in time for the White House card?
Let's see. She is an insane athlete, but the people that I spoke to were saying like gung-ho to get, the train rolling again in 3. Is that optimistic, too optimistic? Is that crazy? Who knows? I'm not going to doubt her. But I think somewhere in a hospital room in New York City right now, because that's where she had the surgery, she is telling herself, I'm fighting on that White House card. If I know Kayla like I know her, I think that's the goal. That's the thing. That's the card she wants to be a part of. Talk to us about the dinner with Donald Trump and Dana White. Like, obviously, the president knows who she is, and seems to be an admirer of hers and all that stuff. So I would think that she is going to be sitting there saying, I'm going to do whatever I can. Now, neck injuries are nothing to scoff at and to take lightly, but as of right this second, January 15th, I would imagine that's her target.
You mentioned Kayla's message. We want to play that just so people hear it from her and see what she had to say from the hospital.
Hi guys. I just wanted to give a bit of an update on my end. Yeah, this is a tough one. I had to have surgery on my neck yesterday here in New York City with the specialist, Dr. Kim. Yeah, so in lieu of that, obviously we're going to have to reschedule the fight. And I just want to say I'm sorry. I'm sorry to Amanda. Was really looking forward to it, and I just want to thank everyone. I want to thank the UFC for taking such good care of me, Dr. D and Jen and the whole team over there. I want to thank Dr. Kim here in New York for seeing me and taking such good care of me. I want to thank my mom who's taking care of my kids at home. I want to thank all my coaches on American Top Team and all my teammates. And yeah, this is day one of recovery and the road back starts now. I don't know God's plans. I know He knows that this is my dream. So I gotta praise Him in the mountains and I gotta praise Him in the valleys. And so I'm grateful for this. I hope that it brings me closer to Him and that He uses this story in a mighty way. Yeah, so that's it. I'm sorry, guys. I'll be back soon.
Man, it's just heartbreaking to watch. Like the fact that she's apologizing when she's going through this gruesome injury and had to travel and leave her family to get this surgery done. Really, I mean, it is just heartbreaking. But with the fact of the injury being the neck and the timeline being so short and how much rehab, it does give me pause on her ability to fight on the White House card.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's so fresh right now, right? So you have to see how someone responds and
Definitely.
and how the rehab goes and all that stuff. And so yeah, let's see. There's obviously not that many great options as we discussed yesterday. In that particular weight class, this was the best fight by far. I haven't heard from Juliana Pena yet. I was expecting to hear from her.
No, we did.
Yeah, I think
we did.
We
I think
did.
She posted a couple IG stories.
Let's show it.
There it is.
Where you at, Amanda? Channeling Diaz brothers. A little promo, a little poster for Nunes
Boom.
3.
All right. So true to form.
For sure.
I was surprised.
And respect to her for doing it. We also obviously heard from Norma Dumont, as we mentioned yesterday. I'm curious for your perspective. It seemed like yesterday, we were reacting to it in real time, going are they going to replace her? Are they not? Are you surprised that they are preserving the fight? Are you surprised that they said, let's postpone this as opposed to try to find somebody for Amanda?
So here's what we don't know. We don't know if they went to Amanda and said, do you want to stay or not?
Yep.
You know what I mean? She hasn't said anything unless I've
No,
missed
I don't
that
think
as
so.
well.
We
I
haven't
haven't seen any posts or anything like that. So it's possible that they went and asked her, do you want to stay? I didn't think the interim thing made a lot of sense, but just do you want to stay? I feel like Amanda at this point is bigger than a belt. She's been there, done that. Just seeing her come back is of great interest, in my opinion. So we don't know. Like I said, I still maintain if I know the UFC, like I think I know the UFC, they would have at least broached the subject. But if they feel confident that Kayla's going to be back, and able to train 3-4 months and then be ready for that White House card, which yesterday I thought was a little lofty, then it's also possible that they say, let's just, live to fight another day and push this down the line.
Do you think there's still a chance? Do you think it's this is for sure postponed?
The fact that the word postpone has been out there and the bout order and all this stuff, and now that I'm hearing more about, the hope of being on the White House card, feels like that's what they're going to go with.
If Kayla's timeline ends up being longer, right? If let's say she can't make the White House card and they have to have another plan, what do you think the UFC does in that scenario? Where do you think the planning begins? Like, does Amanda Nunes wait longer? Does she try to take another opponent? At that point, does a Norma Dumont or a Juliana Pena or even an Amanda Serrano or something crazy like that become appealing? Or is it just, we don't know, we'll have to kind of see how that plays out? I'm just wondering if Kayla can't come back as soon as we hope she does, what happens to Amanda Nunes? Because her fate is almost a little bit tied to Kayla in a way that's unique to her.
Like you're suggesting, if Kayla doesn't come back, she's just going to go back to retirement?
Does she? I'm wondering that.
Yeah. I mean, just trying to think about it from my perspective. If you make the decision to come back and you're getting tested and you go through the training camp and you're days away now, let's say 2 weeks by the time she found out, maybe a little less, I feel like you want to get it out of your system.
Yeah.
And you know, by the way, not for nothing, I know people roll their eyes. She is 1-1 against Juliana. Like, she does have a loss. They are tied. I know that, you know, she won the last one, but it's not like she beat her, 2-0. So there's a story there, and Norma, there's a story as well. Like I said, not a ton of options, but there's at least 2 that I could think of. There's at least 2 that I would sign up for and be interested in, without a doubt. I'd be 100% interested in the Juliana trilogy because Juliana's talked a lot about her, and I would be interested in the Norma fight. Norma's currently ranked number 3, Raquel Pennington number 2. Are there options for her at 145? Probably not. Unless they want to sign Larissa Pacheco, but they're friends, it seems. So
I'd watch that.
That would be an interesting fight. That would be an interesting fight for sure. But I feel like there's at least 2 fights for her, and I feel like if she's come this far, she might as well, see it through.
I took a very hardline stance yesterday where I was like, I don't want to see Amanda versus anybody but Kayla. If the timeline gets too long, if we're looking at Kayla's coming back in Q4, that changes for me. And as you said, I don't think it's goofy at all to imagine a Pena Nunes trilogy. I think that's a fantastic fight, and I think Norma Dumont has earned her spot too. I don't have any problem with if we know for certain Kayla Harrison is out for an extended amount of time, and Amanda Nunes wants to fight and then have that Kayla Harrison fight. That's where my stance changes, and I would be open to either of those 2 options.
In 2026, do we see Amanda Nunes fight?
I say yes.
I say yes.
And Kayla Harrison?
Yes.
I say yes.
And they fight each other?
Yes.
I hope so. Yeah. I hope so.
I think Ariel has nailed it in terms of Kate, even from the hospital bed, right? She's talking about this is the start of the comeback. Like, she is one of those uber elite, top of the food chain type athletes. I can't imagine this keeping her down. Like, think about Ben Askren, right? When everybody's giving him timelines and this is how long it's going to take to do this, and we don't know if he's ever going to do XYZ again. And then you look at the guy today and he's bouncing around the wrestling mats. Like, when you're that level of athlete, when you're that level of competitor, I just can't imagine Kayla just being down for that long. Like, even if it is the end of the year, I'm fairly certain she'll be back this year.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't think it'll be White House. I think it'll be a little later just because with the White House timeline, like, you got to go through rehab, you got to go through a camp and everything like that, and the neck injury is very serious. But I do think she will bounce back and fight this year.
I hope so, man. I was so looking forward to that fight. I mean, I was obviously, some people are trying to stick it to me and be like, you see, this is why they weren't the main event.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
Stop that nonsense.
That's ridiculous. You can't predict a neck injury.
Of course. The weight thing, look, if she would have missed weight, then I would have accepted that. That's obviously a big thing, but come on, get out of here with this. This could happen to anyone, and no one wants to see this happen to anyone. It sucks, but I can't get over just how similar the beginning of this era is to the beginning of the ESPN era. They had a lot of trouble with that first show. Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up, leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. And while you're here, do check out the rest of the channel. We've got live shows and full interviews, clips, and a whole lot more. We're doing big things here, and we appreciate your support very much.